to the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the WC podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. I want to welcome Dr. Brenda Larsen-Mitchell, interim superintendent of schools for the Clark County School District, and our newest Workforce Connections board member. Brenda, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's been so nice to, we've been waiting for this because, of course, even though we've worked together for a while, in your role now as the interim superintendent, we really felt that, we needed you here at the table as we continue to build on these partnerships, as we design and then try to implement new things. The decision maker at the district belongs here at the table as we talk with our ecosystem. I know you were here with us last week when the U.S. Secretary of Labor was here and the rest of our community partners. So thank you for, first of all, accepting the invitation to be our board member.
Very honored. Thank you for having me.
I want to start, Brenda, by letting our viewers and our listeners kind of learn a little bit more about you. Tell us where you were born, where you grew up, went to school, perhaps even college. Take us through that journey to your first job out of college.
Oh, great question. So I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in Northwest Iowa, and then went to college at the University of South Dakota. I majored in elementary and special education. From there, I applied at two school districts. Albuquerque, New Mexico was applying, and Clark County School District was applying. And I came in 1994 to the Clark County School District. I served as a special education teacher at John C. Fremont. It was the last year the district was fully staffed.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What year was this?
1994.
Wow.
So I've served for 30 years. Las Vegas has been so good to me. So once I was teaching, then I went also to UNLV at the same time and earned my master's degree, and then just continued at UNLV with my doctorate degree. But taking me back to where I grew up in Iowa, I detasseled corn. So you would walk these 2-mile rows in the cornfield and you'd pick the tassels off the corn. Also, I guess now you would call it a pharmacy tech. Also was a veterinary tech. So held just a variety of different roles growing up, and then the summers in between college. Just great experiences where I really gained my hard work ethic. So growing up, had great experiences, and then of course moving to this amazing community, I've had amazing opportunities here as well.
Brenda, you have some in common with our with my colleague here at Workforce Connections and of many years on the Strip, Irene Bustamante Adams, grew up in the agricultural fields. So she, as you were doing the hand gestures, she has stories about, again, working the fields in the Imperial Valley in California, growing up as a member of a immigrant farm, worker family. And so, yes, that's hard work. Yep. That instills those values you talked about. And I know we'll have time to talk more about the district. I want to go back to South Dakota for a second, but I don't want to forget about this. You mentioned something very meaningful that I didn't realize. You've already served your 30 years, so you could ride off into the sunset if you wanted to. And this is the sense that I'm getting from you as I get to know you better. You're really here because you care. You're staying in this position because you care, and I appreciate that. I want to say thank you. And again, I think I've told you in private, Workforce Connections is committed to doing whatever we can to help you and your team be successful, because what we want is more opportunity for these kids to succeed in life. And so, but take me back to college a little bit. I can picture you in the Midwest growing up. That's why you are hard worker, great work ethic, integrity. Tell me about college a little bit. What was that experience like?
So I was 3 hours from home. I can tell you my first year, I was very homesick. I was involved in high school in every activity. I graduated in a class of 60. So you had to participate in almost every sporting event and so forth. And so I was very, very busy in high school, and then going to college. I did intramurals, but did double major in both elementary education and special education. And I graduated within 4 years, with both of those degrees. My student teaching I did in third grade. So loved third grade. It was the only time I taught elementary school. Wow. When I came to Vegas, it was middle school. But just great connections, very, very good experiences in college.
I think, again, we're going to talk about your journey here in the Clark County School District. What is it like to, come as in the entry level, but now sit as the interim superintendent of the 5th largest school district in the nation. Take us through that 30-year journey. How does that happen?
Yeah, it's crazy. Never thought I would be here, Jaime. So again, started as a special education teacher. I then transitioned and taught 6th grade math. And then I had some amazing opportunities. People believed in me, had faith in me, and I had a lot of great mentors and leaders who just were great role models. So when I started into administration, I was a dean of students at Bob Miller Middle School.
My daughter went there.
Oh, nice. Wonder if we connected. Probably not. Too long ago, but it was a brand new school.
Yeah.
Bob Miller Middle School. So great experiences there. Also served as an assistant principal at Johnson Middle School, Johnson Junior High School, in the northwest part of the valley. And from there, I also served when we had region superintendents back in the day, Dr. Alan Coles. He asked me to come and work with him. And so I worked within the Southwest Region office there. And from there, I transitioned to the principal at Lois and Jerry Tarkanian Middle School. That was a brand new school. So it was an amazing opportunity to bring
That's a middle school too, right?
Yes. Yep. In the southwest area of the valley. So it was an amazing opportunity to bring together people who had the same vision. And our vision was empowering all students to achieve success. From there, I served as an executive director in the curriculum and instruction division. And then
the Pickles Mojave building?
Yes, you got it. That's exactly it. So supervised literacy, social studies, math, CTE, career and technical education. That was a great learning opportunity for me. After that, I transitioned and served 6 years as a principal supervisor. That was awesome as well. And then after that, served as the chief academic officer. And then I entered the deputy superintendent role of teaching and learning when we went into COVID.
Wow.
Yes. So great team, amazing people. So really, we were in distance education for almost a year in the Clark County School District. And so really worked alongside the team. Again, amazing team, really flipped the 5th largest school districts upside down into distance education.
Yeah, I remember those days. It was unprecedented. But listening to your story again, something I already believed, but now I understand it even more. You're super qualified for this job. You've been through all the positions and roles that you really can draw from for this role now as the head of the district. And I know, again, as you said, the principals have a job to do. The people in Pecos Mojave have a job. You need everybody to do their job. This is like one of those aircraft carriers where the captain is the captain, but he can't go push the buttons. And so what buttons do you though, have to push yourself? What are the key responsibilities that you can't delegate to the amazing team you have, but that you have to execute yourself?
Thank you for the question. So I'm working closely with the Board of School Trustees, very grateful for their confidence in me to lead during the interim. So working closely with all 11 of them. Also, responsibility, climate and culture. Climate and culture is huge, right? And I set the tone. So climate and culture, also student and staff safety, student outcomes, making sure that all of our kids exit our system, college and career ready, and also being a good steward of taxpayer dollars. Those are some of the responsibilities. And I would also say, a key responsibility of mine is working collaboratively with the community. It is going to take all of us working together as one to do what's right for all of our children.
Yeah, and I see you doing that, Brenda. That's why I think I'm grateful that you are not going to let us lose one step of what we've built over the last few years with the school district. And we're going to talk a little bit, give some examples. But before we transition to those examples, I wanted to ask you, do you have some top priorities or things that you want to make sure you get accomplished here in the next few months, school year or year? Is there one or two key things that you want to make sure you check off?
Yes, thank you for that. So at the top of the list is building trust and building relationships with our community. It's getting out there. It's listening. Everybody has a voice. and it's valuing the voice. So it's building the trust, building the relationships. I've been to a lot of places in our community sharing the good work that is happening in the Clark County School District. I would say that's another area of focus, Jaime, is there are a lot of good things happening. We have an amazing team, and I am proud to serve in the Clark County School District. I've grown up with the employees in the Clark County School District, and as you mentioned earlier, I stay because I care.
Yeah.
I care deeply about our students, our educators, and our community. So building trust and relationships is definitely a focus. Another focus that we have right now is the recruitment and retention of employees. So right now we currently have about 1,100 vacancies in the Clark County School District. So how can we build a robust, rigorous recruitment and retention plan to make sure that our students have high quality educators? We know the number one school-based variable for student success is the classroom teacher. We also need more social workers, more counselors, and we need to diversify our pipeline. Our students need to see themselves in our educators. So those, I would say, are the top two. Of course, always student outcomes. Serving as the Deputy of Teaching and Learning, we have built robust systems and structures for teaching and learning in which we will see gains in student outcomes in the next 3 to 5 years.
That's awesome. And so two things, Brenda, that I made a mental note there. Number one, to tell you, when I talk to our partners in the community, whether it be chambers of commerce, economic development, community, organizations, I have heard that they are feeling and hearing the message from you of bridge building, consensus making, and partnership. So I want you to know that you're being effective in that.
Thank you.
I felt that other people are feeling, that you're saying we're not perfect, the relationships are not perfect, but I'm willing to, to make it better.
Yeah.
And so you're being effective at that. And the second thing is, as you were talking, I was just a couple of weeks ago, we had an employer here that was bragging. Well, no, you were here at the meeting. We were with the Secretary of Labor, and Empire Caterpillar asked us to, do a booklet for them, the ones that CCSD helped us design on taking labor market information about jobs, occupation, skill sets, and putting them in a language that young kids can actually find fun and take back home and say, look, here's a position or a job. And then the parents can follow up on a website with more information. And just again, it's never too early to career explore. Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking, as you were saying, CCSD, a lot of people think that the only, even though it's probably the most opportunities are in teaching or in the classroom, there's other jobs at CCSD that have to do with finance, that have to do with maintenance, that have to do with transportation, that have to do with culinary. And so I'm thinking, I don't know why I haven't thought it until now, but we probably need to do a little booklet that's just about CCSD and remind the kids or their families too, or at least really highlight the fact that there's a lot of opportunities to work in the district. Do you like that idea?
I love that idea.
Let's do it then.
Let's do it. Let's do it, Jaime. And just very grateful for the partnership that we have with Workforce Connections. We're doing some amazing things together and just very, very appreciative.
We are. And I'm going to list them right now.
Yes, go for it.
I want to make sure I don't miss any. So we'll start. We're very proud that we're now in the third year. And I know you came to the cohort, the graduation of these, what we call CCSD Workforce Fellows. What are they? They're some of the best counselors you have in your schools, and you, if you will, lend them to us for a period of time. It's over 9 months. We immerse them into our system, and they are able to, again, graduate as now champions of all the resources that are accessible through us. And so that just better helps, again, CCSD staff connect students to what they need. So that's, we're very proud. Third year, I think we're close to now 35 or 40 of those, and our goal is to do as many as possible. Yes. Another thing we're really proud of is the district built a school a year ago, or it opened maybe over a year and a half ago now, at the site of the old Bishop Gorman. And it's called the CCTA, or Central Career Training Academy. And next to it, there's a Families Resource Center, a beautiful building, again, that helps families. It's situated in a place of much need. The school was designed not only to serve the students in the day, but also it can serve the families later in the day into the night. And so we thought, what a great opportunity for us to, again, make our resources available there. And of course, we're happy because the district welcomed that and designed it to be able to house American Job Center staff. And so really proud of that. First school in the nation to do that. Another thing we're proud of is that we were able to work together and brought $250,000 of resources for new vocational training programs at the Peterson Academic Center. Brenda, I can't tell you how happy I was. A week ago, I was at the city of Las Vegas walking a job for an event coming up, and the caterer, Chef Jeff,
Yes.
who was going to cater that event, had a young man with him. And even though I've been involved with all the challenges, as you know, well, there's always challenges with implementing new things and making this a reality, it was all worth it because he said, I want to introduce you to a young man who was one of the first students to come out of this program. And so that gave me satisfaction, and again, makes it worth it. But sometimes you have to break through barriers to make things like that happen. But the Peterson Academic Center, I got to beat a life that was changed for the better because of that. Next thing, student showcases. Every quarter now, we highlight a school, a high school. It could be one that has a culinary program, a robotic program, and we bring employers from our industry sector partners on the school. We work with your staff who diligently prepares the students, 30 to 40 students, make sure they have resumes, give them an opportunity to highlight their skills. I love to see when those kids, whether it's through robotics or kitchen or whatever, they demonstrate what employers are looking for: critical thinking, problem solving, teamwork, communication. And then the next hour is dedicated for them to networking with those employers. And hopefully our goal is that those kids, those young adults, have opportunities for internships while they're still in school, and more importantly, opportunity for work when they leave school or in the summer. So that's really good. A really cool outcome, the student showcases. We also, we know again that we shouldn't wait until high school. And I know you're a big believer in that. In middle school, we're trying to increase this connectivity between industry and your staff, the teachers, the counselors, by really pushing this online platform so the employers can stay involved, because employers can't visit every school in person, but they can connect with every school as possible. So an online platform to increase that industry to classroom connectivity. And then finally, as early as possible, in elementary school, we're giving employers the opportunity to create, collateral and exposure materials so that young kids and their families, as early as possible, can start to learn about these new industries that didn't exist when those parents went to school, new technologies, new occupations. And so I don't know if this list includes everything, but it just maybe start the conversation about, you're right, we've been doing some great things. I believe we're going to do more, but I'll pass it on to you because I also am thankful that we're partners in all of this.
Yes, agree. The Workforce Fellows, that is an amazing opportunity for our counselors and additional staff. I hope to increase the number of people who participate in that rigorous program, that 9-month rigorous program, because ultimately then they have the knowledge of the resources to help our kids, right? The American Job Center at the Family Engagement Center is amazing. I would love to look at ways together where we can expand that to maybe some other sites to make sure that we have one-stop shopping for our students and our families. I think that's amazing as well. The showcases, the senior workshops, they're amazing, helping kids with resumes, interview skills to make sure that they're ready for those careers. And I would love to expand some, additional intentionality in bridging our student skill sets to employers, right? And making those tight connections with them to help not only our kids, but our community and our industries.
I would love it. I'm, again, grateful, Brenda, that you're open to all of that. I love to see when employers are there on your sites and to see the kids talk to them, ask really good questions. And mostly what I love is when employers walk and tell me, thank you for making this happen. I just met 2 or 3 of my future workers, that magic. So yes, let's expand that. I think a lot of the success or a very big part of it came despite the fact, as you said, that in 2020 and 2021, we were very challenged. We had the middle of the pandemic and the effects lasted for a while, but we still were able to put into place things again that you're, I'm grateful that you're helping us keep going, because a lot of times, Brenda, leadership changes and sometimes reset buttons are pressed and a lot of good work has to restart again. And so in this case, it's not happening. You have, as you've expressed now, you're committed to build upon and expand the good work. I wanted to touch on a subject next that we were all faced with and continue to face. What happened to us affected many, first our young kids, but also your staff and many people, but it's this issue of mental health, mental wellness. How, how much are you still affected in the schools with that, kids and teachers, parents, and what are the ways that you're trying to mitigate it, if you will?
Thank you. Thank you, Jaime. Yes. So really, we're implementing what's the framework is called multi-tiered system of supports. And it's really analyzing each student where they are with their academics, where they are with their social emotional well-being, and where they are with their behavioral growth. And then we provide tiered supports. So Brenda, based on data, it may indicate that she needs more time in reading, right, to learn reading. It may indicate that she needs additional time, maybe with a social worker, maybe with a counselor. That is also one of the priorities I have, Jaime, as the interim superintendent, is providing mental health supports and wraparound services. So with the COVID relief dollars, the district was allocated $777 million with ESSER funds. Those sunset September 2024. So we had purchased a lot of our mental health supports with those ESSER dollars. So knowing those were running out, we hadn't targeted purchasing some of those mental health supports for this upcoming school year. As a team, we reanalyzed the budget, and now we are going to be providing some of those mental health supports that we have provided in the past. We know that our students' mental health and well-being is very critical to their academic success.
Yeah, and I saw it firsthand, Brenda, because one of my favorite things to do every year is to do the principal for a day.
Oh yeah,
I started. I've done now high school, middle school, and elementary school, and they each have different challenges. High schoolers and middle schoolers. My last one was in elementary school, and I saw the mental health thing right up front and this is why I think we're so supportive and empathetic about what's going on in the schools, because this principal, great principal, stood with her staff on the drop-off line, in the cul-de-sac. And I don't remember my principals back then doing that, but it was great. There was a big loudspeaker with very high energy music, and they were shaking hands, opening doors. And while I saw some great engaged parents, some parents barely took the time to get off the phone, and I don't blame them, because maybe they have to have 2-3 jobs to support their family and their stress. But again, the staff and I was there, we were ushering the kids out of the car, and sometimes you didn't even get an acknowledgement. And some of those kids were hungry. Some of them were not clothed properly. Some of them had, again, mental health needs. And so I saw that at the school, we're asking a lot of you and your staff. Sometimes the community doesn't stop to think that there's some very basic needs that have to be taken care of before that child is even ready for the classroom. And so, again, as you said earlier, and we're committed, all of us need to pitch in and make sure that those gaps are bridged, because we're asking a lot of you and your staff to help us with our future workers, which our economy needs, our employers need. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Brenda, we've talked a lot about your big job that you have. You have 40 or 50,000 staff on
42,000.
Wow, 42,000 staff. It's a big job to worry, again, not just about the mission, which are the 320,000 kids you serve, but also all those people that it takes also to implement that mission. But tell us also a little bit about your personal side. When you're not working, which I know you work long hours, how do you enjoy time with your family? What are some of the hobbies, activities that you like to do on your own time?
Great question, Jaime. So I enjoy time with my family. And enjoy time with my friends, just a lot in the evening, having, dinner together and talking about each other's day. I do like to read books. Haven't gotten to that recently, but my parents also winter here in Las Vegas, so that's always nice as well. Do a lot of puzzles with my parents and so forth. So just a lot of family time. Enjoy watching sports. Don't really have any favorite teams other than our local teams here, which are amazing, right? But just time with family.
Very good. I made 2 notes there to ask you a couple of follow-ups. Do your parents escape harsh winter weather?
Yes.
From
yes.
where?
From Iowa.
Oh,
yep.
okay. So they're still there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. So they're here in the winter with us. Yep.
And then when you talk about reading, is it a lot of people have transitioned. Their reading can be done through audiobooks or through a Kindle, but some people still reading means you need to feel.
That's me.
Oh, okay.
That's me, Jaime. I like a book.
Okay.
I like a book.
And
Yep.
do you write on it?
Yes,
Okay.
highlight,
Okay.
write, yes, and then frequently refer back to it,
Yeah.
put stickies in it.
Yeah.
Yep, all
Okay.
that.
That sounds good. So, Brenda, one of the things that I always think about is, we all gain wisdom and throughout life, and the later years of our life, we have so much that we hopefully are passing on to our kids or other kids. But wouldn't it be nice? Have you ever thought that you would like to talk to that 18-year-old Brenda and save her some of the, pains that we learned through life? I often think about that. What would I tell, that person? I know that's a dream, but what we do have is currently listener viewers who are young. If an 18-year-old boy or girl is listening and seeing, wow, Brenda came from the Midwest, so did my family. Brenda started at an entry level, but now is, heading the 5th largest school district in the nation. What would be some good advice that they could, learn from you on how to get there? Because it's not easy. It takes a lot. But what could you share with them?
I would share that reputations are earned. They're not given. I would share that kindness matters. The way you treat people matters. People will always remember how you treated them. Everybody wants to feel significant. I would tell them every day is an interview. And I would tell them that nothing beats hard work.
That's really good advice. Every time I hear that one you talk about, it's attributed sometimes to Eleanor Roosevelt, sometimes to Churchill, but I always hear that one that says people forget what you say, what you do, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And that's so important too. I think I think learned that in the hospitality industry. I worked for Steve and Elaine Wynn early when the Mirage opened in '89, which it just closed.
Yes.
It's so funny how we close chapters here in Las Vegas. That's who we are. The Mirage was a brand new iconic thing that drove the growth of the 90s and the early 2000s, and now it becomes an old thing that needs to be renewed. But I think I learned there in the hospitality industry that everything's about experience. It's how they used to tell us. I remember this very fancy New Year's event that we had, and Elaine and Steve stood on the ballroom stage, and as we were preparing with white gloves and things to receive the guests, all the waiters and the fancy wines and the 7-course dinners, there's this china that had never been used before, very expensive again, and before a dinner was served and they were putting them out, one broke.
Oh.
And she took the chance. It was Elaine actually. He said, because the person started crying, felt really, really bad about this. We had just learned that each plate was $120 or something. And so, but she said, that's okay.
Yes.
I said, what matters here, the china, yes, is great, the fancy wine, but what we really need from you is to make sure that guest leaves saying, I will never forget how I felt this night. And so that, I think, is so important. And I'm glad that for you, it's important too, to make sure that we make people feel good.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Because we have that opportunity every day.
Yeah.
Right. And the work we do, Jaime, when you were sharing the story about the student at Peterson Academic Center, that's the opportunity we have every day to make a positive impact in the lives of others, which is pretty powerful.
It is. Another really cool moment that happened last year was through these activity books that we created. We invite our local elected officials who guide our agency. In this case, it was Mayor Michelle Romero from Henderson, who's one of my 8 bosses. We went to that school on Lake Mead, close to Boulder Highway. Sewell? Can it be Sewell?
Sewell Elementary.
Yep.
CT Sewell.
Yeah, CT Sewell. And so we went there, and the principal was kind and selected a 5th grade classroom so that we could come in with the mayor and, she could read with them. And they already actually had done the activity the days before. They had colored the book, filled the book, and she got to ask questions, and the kids got to ask her questions. But the coolest thing was all of that was really good because we could hear from kids what they wanted to be when they grew up. But I enjoyed seeing the mayor walk into this classroom, and it was the very same 5th grade classroom that she went to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so it was a really cool experience because she shared that with the kids. And, when you're that young, you don't understand what a mayor is and how big of a deal that is. But But yeah, those moments I think are what drive me, Brenda, too. The experiential moments, like we've talked about today, is I think what helps us accomplish this work. So,
Yes.
is there any, as we approach the end of our podcast, again, I'm so grateful that not just that you're here today, but that we're partners. I hope that you really see that we really, to the best of our ability, to what we can do. We can't do it all ourselves either, but we are behind you. We want to be, your partner in making sure that your vision of these 320,000 kids every year, 25, 30,000 we send into the world, that they have as many career opportunities as they can. You said some will go to college, some to university, some to the military, some to the trades and apprenticeships. But some will go to also vocational school to learn how to be, anything, a barber, a dealer. And Brenda, we know also that some, because of their circumstances, have to work right away. And so we want to make sure they're prepared to get the best job they can. And so that's our commitment to you to partner. Before we say our goodbyes, is there any announcements, big events, recruitment events coming up with CCSD that you would like to share with our listeners, viewers?
Well, we start school back on August 12th, so we're working really hard to get all that ready. We just had our admin kickoff yesterday at the Smith Center. That was, 1,200 of our amazing administrators came back, and our principals are 12-month, but, welcoming them back, that was great. Tomorrow, what's today? Thursday? Friday? Mm-hmm. Yep. Tomorrow we will have a new principal kickoff. Mm-hmm. And then August 1st, we have our new teacher kickoff. Yeah, so just a lot of things. Oh, it's great though. Because it's about people. Yeah. Relationships matter. And so we're just doing the work that we need to do to make sure our employees and our students are well taken care of, and working hard also for the community. So Thank you for everything you do, Jaime.
Thank you, Brenda. When will your first State of the Schools address will be sometime this year?
Well, we'll see. Okay. The trustees are involved in the search right now. Okay. So the target date for that to be complete is the beginning of November. Okay. So January is State of the School. So we'll see. Okay. We'll see what happens. All right. Right.
Sounds good.
I respect the process.
Yes. But there's plenty. I was saying that because I know I'm going to see you in an event soon. That one's still far away, but again, I look forward to seeing you at the next event and continuing to be a partner, a true partner for you and your staff at CCSD. So thank you, Brenda.
Thank you. Thank you, Jaime.
Well, that's it for another episode of the WC Podcast. We hope to see you at a future one. Until then, stay safe. Well, Brenda, thank you for staying over to do our bonus segment called Against the Wall. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. The first section is easy. It's called Your Favorites. Let's start with an easy one. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is a cheeseburger.
And what's your favorite wine?
My favorite wine would be Sauvignon Blanc.
What's your favorite car?
My favorite car would be a Volvo.
Favorite musical group or artist?
Favorite musical group or artist, Bon Jovi, which is dating myself.
That's a good one, though. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie, Terms of Endearment.
Favorite book?
Favorite book, The Library.
Favorite sports team?
Favorite sports team, the Aces.
Awesome. 2-time champions, Aces, right? Go girls. The second section is called Tough Choices. It's going to get a little harder. Are you ready?
Okay, ready.
Vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
When you go to your vacation, would you rather drive there or fly there?
Fly.
When you get there, would you rather stay in a hotel or Airbnb?
Hotel.
When you retire, will it be on a ranch or the big city?
Ranch.
If you had a day off, would you rather be by the ocean or hiking in the mountains?
Ocean.
If you were a superhero, and you are in many ways because you help our young kids, but if you were a superhero like the comics, would you rather have the ability to fly or breathe underwater?
Fly.
The ability to speak with animals or speak any foreign language?
Foreign language.
Here's a hard one. Actions or words?
Actions.
Justice or grace?
That's a tough one. Justice.
Very good. You finished our second section. The last one is called Finish the Sentence. I'm going to give you about 90% of the sentence. You'll finish it for me. Are you ready?
Ready.
If Brenda could visit any place in the world, it would be?
Denmark.
The best part of living here in Southern Nevada is?
The community.
Brenda's favorite thing about her job at CCSD is?
The amazing students and staff.
If Brenda could travel back in time, she would travel to?
Oh my gosh, I would travel back to in time. That's a hard
Would it be
one.
the cornfields? No, too many mosquitoes.
I mean, college was a great experience. I'd travel back to college.
Yeah, me too. That's good. And 3 words that describe Brenda are?
Hardworking, reliable, and committed.
Couldn't agree more. And doing the WC podcast here today with us was?
Absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you, Brenda, for being here.
Thank you.